Um, so I'll tell you a little story. Um, Best friend in the world. Um, I call him. We'll just call him Dr. Me and Dr. have been friends for a long, long time. Um, Actually, I don't like that name, Dr. Let's call him RL. RL. Me and RL. Ariel. Oh. RL have been friends for a very long time. Uh, since probably third grade, second or third grade. So like almost like 30 years, something like that. So anyway, we're really good friends. He's kind of like the yin to my yang. I'm more of like an impulsive person, and he's more of a cool, calm, and collected. He's my Dr. Jekyll to my Mr. Hyde. The yin to my yang. That's a better one. Because I'm not very self-destructive. I'm probably a little self-destructive. But I like this little the sun coming through the window. But anyway, so I'm the wild one, and he's responsible, Betty. So anyway, that's not even the point of the story. So anyway, we're going. I'm going up to New York to see him, and he lives in like Hell's Kitchen at this point. So I'm up to go to see him, and he's actually coming in town from I forgot where he was going, but he was coming into town when I was coming in. So he's like, "Oh well, I'll be. You should be there around 8 o'clock, and I should be there around maybe a little after 8." So I said, "Okay, cool." So I'm like sitting in his lobby and waiting on him. 8 turns to 8:30. It's about 9 o'clock. Calls me and he tells me, "Oh, okay, man, I just landed. The blah blah blah." I'm like, "Okay, not an issue, dude." And he goes, he's like, "Oh well, my girlfriend's in the upstairs." I was like, "Oh no, no, wait." At the time, I really barely knew her, so I don't really like small talk. And then I felt rude if I went up there. I just dropped my bags and went out, and was not around her. So anyway, he's like, "Yeah, she's up there." And I was like, "Why didn't you tell me that earlier?" I've been in the lobby for like almost an hour and a half, so now she know. So I was like, "Okay, cool." And then he's like, "Yeah, I told her you were there." I was like, "Why'd you do that?" Now it looks like I'm not trying to have a conversation with her. Um, Now I look like an asshole, so my anxiety's going through the roof. So I'm like, "Oh God." Now she knows I'm downstairs, so I either stay downstairs and continue to be an asshole, or I go upstairs and I kind of like throw my buddy under the bus. I decide to avoid awkward situations, and I just stay downstairs. So he gets there about. I'm just chilling there. Me and the security guard are like laughing and joking. And he's like, "Well, I could let you in the room." I was like, "No, I'm good. His girlfriend's up there, and it's been over an hour and a half. I look like an asshole, so might as well continue to be an asshole." So I'm sitting there waiting for him. He rolls in around 10:15. I'm like, "Oh, great." So we go upstairs, and she's chilling. And I was like, "Oh, hey, what is it?" She's like, "Oh, you were in the lobby?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I went to get pizza." I'm like, "No, I wasn't just chilling in the lobby for the 2.5 hours instead of being up here." So anyway, she's like half asleep, and I'm like, "Okay, well, let's go. Let's go out and get some food or whatever." And he goes, "Okay, yeah." So we go out. We're like walking and talking, and like bar hopping, and we go into this one bar, beautiful bar, um, very classy. Everyone's in tuxedos. We're like, "Dude, we're like in jeans and t-shirts. Like, we do not fit here." And then we sit down and we're like laughing and joking, and I look around and I'm like, "Huh, it's awkward." I was just like, "Why is there like old 1950s wrestlers like goldish, ugh, Gorgeous George and all those people, like all hairy and muscular and sweaty?" It's like, "Okay, well, I mean, it's interesting, whatever." Then I'm like looking around and I see there's gladiators, like old school gladiator movies, and they're like wrestling and they're all rolled up. And I see that there's only two men's bathrooms. And I turn to my buddy and I go, "RL?" He's like, "Yeah." It's like, "Are we in a gay bar?" And he's like, "Yeah, I thought so too." I was like, "Wow, we've been here for like 45 minutes, and this we just noticed it's a gay bar." Like, "Oh yeah, whatever." So we finish our round and we go outside and we're like, okay, well let's go somewhere else. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with a gay bar. I've had some really fun times in a gay bar. I'm a very I'm very big in the gay community. I'm a bear, as they call me. El Baro. No, I don't call me. That's never called that. But big, tall, fat dudes with beards, bears. Gay guys love bears. Women, not so much. I'm not in. The women do not like bears. Unless you know someone who likes a bear, hit me up. I'm not a bear. Am I a bear? I can see myself being a bear. I like to sleep. I like to eat. Very large, and I'm in charge. So anyway, that's not the point of the story. That's going to be called my new podcast. That's not the point of the story, because I literally go on tangents. So anyway, we're walking and we're like, okay, let's go in this place. It's an Irish pub. We're like, okay. And I walk up to the bartender. I go, hey, could I get 3 beers and 2 shots? And I think I got a shot of Jameson. Maybe 2 shots of Jameson. No, no, we didn't do shots. Sorry. I just asked for 3 beers. Because the rule is 2 for him, no, 2 for me, 1 for him. Because he's like half my size, if not smaller. So I chugged one, and I start drinking the other one, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty impressive." He's Irish, by the way. That's not me. Just, oh, that's pretty impressive. And I was like, "Yeah, man, whatever." And so he's like, "Okay, well these 2 shots are on me," and he's like buying us rounds every round. I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool, dude." So we're like chilling there, laughing, joking, and these 2 women walk in. One's British, one's American. British one's gorgeous. They're both gorgeous. I mean, they're like older ladies. Um, but I like an older lady, as you might remember. So we're talking to them. One's from the Midwest. I won't say where, and the other one is from England. So I'm like, oh, I love English women. The accents. We're Americans are we're obsessed with accents, especially British accents. It's like we have mommy issues. Like we remember back when they used to own us. Now we're like kind of obsessed with it because we could have had those accents if we were just good little boys and girls. We could have, dude. But then everyone would have had English accents, and then it would have lost all its charm. So anyway, you're welcome, England, for making you sexy to all American women. Um, so anyway, we're talking to them, and I'm joking around, and I'm like, well, I could do a pretty good English accent. Not really, but I'm trying to make these girls laugh and hopefully have sex with one of them. Hopefully, but odds are not in my favor. So I'm like, oh, I could do one, and I was like, oh, governor, you fancy a sweep? And she's like, hmm. She's like, that's like Mary Poppins. Her accent's much better. But she's like, that's like Mary Poppins shit. I was like, well, that's the only one I know. And then I was like, oh, you like, no, then I was Australian. But so, anyway, I get a little better with it. And then she goes, oh, well, you could pass for like an English person, but like, one of the ones from down south. But apparently I found out that's like, racist. More like special needs, if you know what I mean. So she was calling me like an English mental patient, which I didn't know until much later. But so anyway, we're like talking to them and joking around, and the bartenders keeps giving us drinks and shit. I'm like, oh god, Lee. And so I'm like, okay, well, we're like joking around, and I'm like, oh golly, it's like almost 5 o'clock. I'm like, shouldn't you have like? By the way, he's pounding, giving us drinks and shots and stuff. So I'm getting fucked up. We only been drinking for like 3 4 hours, but I was getting fucked up. And I was like, "Is this an after hours bar?" He's like, "Whatever I'm working, it is." By the way, amazing Irish accent, salt of the earth, dude. By the way, we became friends after this. So we're like, "What the hell?" Like, okay. So then I'm like, "All right." It's like almost 7:30 in the morning. I gotta go. Like, I need to get food. I'm fucking drunk. Let's get the hell out of here. So we finish our drinks. He brings us another round. I'm like, oh god. And then I finish my 2 beers. I'm like, oh, okay, that was bad decision. And then RL's like, oh, can I? He was like, you can give it to me. As he's like, do you want to waste it? I was like, drunk Steve doesn't waste alcohol. So I finished his, and then I'm like, oh, okay, we gotta go. So I said goodbye to the dude. I was like, I'll hang out with you tomorrow. Like, okay. And so we're leaving, and I was like, oh, nice to meet you, ladies. So we're leaving, and RL goes, he's like, what are you in the mood for? We could get some pizza, we can get some diner food. And I was like, so I like walked 2 steps. I was like, oh, it's probably get some, project vomit everywhere. And do not stop walking. I literally in stride. Diner food sounds pretty good. And like walk like half a block, and he just turns to me and goes like, "Dude, you just puke?" And I was just like, "Yeah." I was like, "Is there any in my beard?" He's like, "No, you're good." I was like, "Yep, definitely puked everywhere." I was like, "Now I'm starving," which is a gross story, but I feel like booze is just poison. But most of my good stories involve booze. Um, so anyway, the next night I go with this dude. RL has to go with his girlfriend to wherever there she lives, and so we're walking. So he's like, "Oh, hang out with me tonight. You have nothing to do." I was like, "Oh shit, whatever." So I hang out with him. I walk in, and the dude's, pretty fucking awesome. Good dude. We're like joking, laughing, all this stuff, and he's like, "Oh well, we're gonna keep bar hopping." So I was like, "Yeah, yeah, sure, that sounds good." And so we go to another bar, and I'm just sitting there, and this girl walks in, and it's not like there's maybe like 7 people in this bar. It's like pushing 2:30, 3 a.m. And she goes, "Is anyone sitting there?" And I was just like, looked at the left and I looked at the right, and I saw nobody. I was like, "Yeah, you're good to go." So anyway, she sits on my lap. So she's sitting like randomly sits on my lap. I have like a weird thing with I attract weird women. She was gorgeous, by the way, but weird women love me, and I have like a beacon for crazy chicks, which you should probably figure that out by now. Um, so anyway, she's sitting on my lap, and her friend's like, I was like, well, I guess I owe you a drink. I mean, whatever. So I buy her a drink. She's like, no, no, no. My drinks are on me. And then she orders some weird ass drink. I'm like, I think they're gonna like drug me and like take my kidneys. But I was like, pretty drunk. I was like, I have a chance with this chick. Normally, I don't have chances with women because I don't know how to read signals. I'm like that little kid in Little League that doesn't know how. Like he's not supposed to be there. He's like really unathletic, and his parents are forcing him because he's getting a little overweight. He's 13 years old. He's probably like 110, 120. He's like a little too fat for his britches. And does that expression? I don't think so. Um, so he's doesn't know what he's doing, and all the coaches hate him. And then me with women is I'm at the plate and I hit the ball, and it's like a double, and I'm running, barely know how to use my legs. I'm getting to first base, don't know what I'm doing. Third base coach is my penis. He's like, "Come on around, come on, buddy, you got this." And I'm like, "Oh, they're like stumbling over the ball in the outfield. It's like angels in the outfield. Like, we got to help this dude get laid." And I'm just like, "Oh, I guess I'll go to second." And I'm like walking to second, talking to the first baseman, second baseman as I go. All talking to the ump like, "I don't know what I'm doing. Is my legs moving?" And my penis is like on third base, like, "Come on, come on, come on." And I'm like, I round second, and then I'll like say something dumb, and then my penis is like, "She didn't notice. Keep going, keep going." And I just like the whole time I'm just saying stupid things that like, and my penis is like, "She's really not noticing it. I think she wants to have sex with you." And he's like, my penis is having a stroke over here because he's like trying his hardest to get it, wet. And he's trying to like get himself some pussy, and he's just like, "I'm stuck with you. Could you fucking get your shit together?" And I get to third base, and he's like, "Get going, get going." And my penis is just yelling and cussing at me, and I just like slowly run home, and I like barely get there. And that's just my sexual life. That's just how it is. Because I never really understand if a woman really likes me or not. Um, part of me is a hopeless romantic, and part of me is just like a vicious animal. Like all men, we have that vicious animal side to us that's just needs sex all the time. But it's like, I'm also, I would say I'm like 75% romantic, and then 25% dirty, filthy animal. We're just That's just how we're built. Sadly, I think that's just how all men are. Some women are like that too. I mean, some women I've met are sexual beings, but they just society won't let them be because if I have sex with like 160 women, not even close. But if I had sex with 160 women, everyone would be like, "Oh damn, dude, hell yeah, women, what a whore, what a filthy whore." But yeah, 160 is a lot of people though. I think I'm at like 9, maybe 10. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really keep track. Really didn't lose my virginity until I was like 28. And I was like 27, 28. I was like, oh, well, I gotta lose it before 30. I never really thought about it, honestly. I've had so many opportunities to have sex in my life, and I just ruin it with my anxiety and how horrible I am with talking to women. Like, I could talk to women all day. Like, I could talk to my friends. I have a lot of female friends. I could talk to them all day. It's when all of them I want to have sex with, by the way. It's when I want to have sex with them, and it's like that Venn diagram where it's like two circles and then in the middle. So it's like I want to have sex with them, which is all women, and then on the right, loving people, right? Women are here, and then in the middle is that very slight little circle that's also wants to have sex with me. So it's like little circle want to have sex with me. When I think a woman is in that category, then I'm like, and I cannot talk to them at all. Yeah, that's just how it is. It's just the curse of me. It's when I have hope that not hope. It's when I have. Well, first off, I don't think any woman wants to have sex with me. That's where that's my starting point, and then slowly I'm like maybe a little bit. Okay, whatever. Then I'll stop. But it's a couple percents that I'm like, oh shit, I could actually have sex with this woman, and then I'm like, you know, trying to like put my key in the ignition, fresh out the kitchen, rolling that body. Got every man. Anyway, so before I get sued, can R. Kelly sue me from jail? I don't know. Love you, R. Kelly. You did some shitty things. A lot of artists have done shitty things. Michael Jackson. Chuck Berry like shit on women, by the way. I feel like that's never talked about. That Chuck Berry actively shat on a lot of women, and Chuck Berry's a fucking god to me. Not a god, but I mean, he should be revered and he should be honored because he was a black man in the 50s, early 60s, having sex with all the white women, and like back then, not a good thing, but they were still like hanging dudes. They were killing black people in the South all the time. And he was like fucking these chicks. And not only like fucking these chicks, he was like shitting on women. I don't know if I could get sued. Is Chuck Berry alive? I don't know. By the way, all hearsay. This is all for comedy. I don't know if it's real. Oh, there's sun in my eyes. But allegedly, let's throw a couple of allegedlys in there so I don't get sued. Allegedly, Chuck Berry was a beast and just fucking all these white women and shitting on them. And bravo, dude. Hell yeah. Chuck Berry pretty much invented a whole genre of porn that everyone loves. I'm not a huge fan of it. I would say it's like 1% of what I watch because it's I don't know if it's I just don't. It's not that I mind it. I mean, I love black women, but like black men and little girls or not girls, women, 18 plus. Yeah, it's just a weird scenario because they use the N word a lot, which kind of like my penis is extra like woke, and he doesn't like the N word, which I don't like the N word either. But my penis is kind of like soft after it. I'm like, oh, like give me this N word dick. I'm like, oh. Cause is he having a good time? Is that what he wants? Does he want her to say the N word to him? And then she's like, yeah, you could fuck this white little pussy with your N dick. And you're like, who likes that? And then you find out most interracial porn is huge in the South. So you have racist dudes jerking off to the big black guy fucking this tiny white girl of age 18 plus, and they get that gets their dick super hard. I'm like, then again, the most racist industry you have is porn. I've watched so many porn that is weird. There's like this gang, this like blow bang, which is also weird. It's weird that there's 15 dudes and they're all like getting their dick sucked, and this like little well, this 18 plus girl is blowing all these dudes and like jizz all over her face and shit. You're like, ah. It's like you're someone's daughter. Like, oh man, that but I mean, it's still hot. It's weird that that I was like, oh, it's like who signs up for that? It's just a whole breed of animal, and all these people have like all these things like that. My dick would be super soft, unless I don't know if I was the first one that would help. Definitely can't be the last person to go. Like she's blowing you, and she's got like semen everywhere, and she's like going to town, and she's blowing 14 dudes before you, and then you're like, oh, I'm last, I'm gonna be the best, and you're like, but then again, the first one's even, I don't know, you have like, then I'd be like, oh man, I gotta come quick because these guys behind me are just jerking their dicks in my direction. I'm like, oh, girl's blowing me, and then these 14 other dudes are just like, ah, and then you're like, ugh, don't look at me. Can't be in the middle. I don't want to be in the middle either. Can't be just see a dude blow his load and then a dude behind me with anxiety. I'm gonna have anxiety through the wazoo. Um, but yeah, so it's weird. And then what's another weird thing? I don't know if you guys know this, but you know what a bukkake is? So a bukkake is when a girl. It's pretty much like a blow bang, but it's like she get jizz all over her face. So she has like 18, 19 dudes just blowing loads all over her face, giving like making her look like a cupcake. And then you're like, ugh, that's weird as shit. But the weirder thing is, I read this on an article, or read this or heard this on a podcast or something. But the origin of bukkake is back in the old days in Japan, when a woman was caught cheating or allegedly cheating. The dude would get all the dudes in town, and they would all just blow their loads on her face. So I guess like horse shame her. I guess I don't know. But she'd get like the whole town to blow loads over her face. It's like, oh, wow. Japan is not fucking around. Japan has been freaks for a long time, dude. And then you watch Japanese porn and everything's blurred out. Like, I mean, I kind of like it a little bit. Like, all you see is the girl, and like the dude's dick is just like blurred out. Like it like ratted on one of its friends, and now it's in witness protection program, and you're like, it looks like a dick, and then it's like blurred out though, but definitely a dick. It has to be a penis. Um, I don't know. I don't know why Asian men get like bad raps. Um, I don't know. I feel like everyone really loves Asian women, but no, I don't know. Do women have Asian guy fetishes? I hope so. I think everyone's got a fetish for a different person. I don't know if I have a fetish, but I like all different types of women. I'm a very buffet kind of guy when it comes to women. I like a little bit of everything. It's mostly just she want to have sex with me, but yeah. So they would get everyone in town just to blow loads in their girl's face if they're cheating. Now we just put them on blast at Facebook. But imagine like you had to be like that dude had to go, oh hey, oh my, oh this is gonna be racist by the way. I'm gonna do a Japanese accent. Oh my dirty wife, she cheated on me. Utaki, could you come up and jerk off in her face? Oh, it would be great honor to disgrace your cheating whore wife. And that's like everyone in town. It's like everyone, even the people you don't like, are blowing loads on your wife's face, and you're like, ooh, Tachi, I hate you. Umagachi, ugh, I hate that guy. And he's just like jerking off on your wife's face. I mean, then you feel bad for her. Like, she's got to move out of that town. She's never going to be able to, her marriage is over. Everyone's blown a load on her face. It's like, gotta go somewhere. You gotta go to America or somewhere. You gotta move to the next town, and then everyone's like, huh, I heard of a woman from the next town over who got cum all over her face, and then she's like, "Oh, not me. I'm from Ubarachi." Ooh. It's weird. It's a weird punishment. We just have weird punishments. It's like, I mean, not us. While they were jerking off on their wives' faces, it was probably the same timeline where we were like burning women at the stake. Imagine now. Imagine now you had the ability. You kind of do a little bit. You could tell people that, like, shame people other ways. But imagine we had the ability now to anybody we don't like be like, oh, I saw them practicing witchcraft, and like they literally would burn them at the stake. It'd be like dudes like take like women would just be like, yeah, what's an old timey name? Jebediah. I don't really. I see us as more friends, and Jebediah's like, oh yeah, that's cool. Hey, Carl, this bitch is a witch. And then, like, that's how petty we would be. We would just be like everyone would be fucking witches. We'd burn everyone and be like, oh yeah, that guy owes me $75. Hasn't paid me yet. Oh, he's a fucking warlock over here. Witches are cool. Warlocks are kind of doofuses, to be honest with you. But it's just weird. I mean, we've done so much shitty shit and shitty shit. We've done so much shitty stuff in this world. It's crazy. Like burning people alive. Like that's got to be like one of the worst ways to die. Burning alive. I think drowning is my number one fear of dying. Because it just seems like there's too much panic and anxiety on drowning to death. Fire would probably like hurt for it'd be like like really intense pain, but that'd only be like for maybe like 12 seconds. I mean, excruciating. Take three. 1, 2, 3. Excruciating pain. It's still wrong, but I said it with way more confidence. Yeah, but that's like I think everyone wants to die in their sleep, but I don't think you die. You think you die in your sleep? I think you like wake up and you're like, oh, and then it's over. But like to just die in your sleep would probably be. I feel like explosions probably like super quick too. It's like, and you're like, plane crash is horrible. I feel like if I was going down on a plane, I would have the anxiety before I die. It would be like a heart attack. But then again, I'd be the one motherfucker who had like a heart attack right when we're about to fucking crash, and then all of a sudden, like fucking Sully Sullenberg is like fucking zoop, gotcha boo, and then I'm dead because I had a heart attack because I thought we were gonna die. Yeah, that'd be my luck. That'd be just my luck. Um, yeah. So I have no idea what I'm talking about anymore. You know, it's what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. I don't want to be sued. I just have like a musical thing in my heart. I had a friend the other day told me, I don't know, this has stuck in my head for a couple days, that she works at this bar and she told me, oh yeah, no one in here is looking for love. Everyone in here is trying to just fuck. And that just made me sad. I mean, it's true. I mean, honestly, it's true. No one's really looking for love. People are just looking to have sex and enjoy life. But that's just sad to me. Because that's a mindset. But that's a mindset this whole generation has. It's just instant satisfaction and not really hoping or wanting to do more. It's just sad to me. It really is. I don't know. I think I was born in the wrong time. I'd be like a great giant. I'd be a great like 1800s America. I'd probably be dead though. They die at like 30, so I'm like an old man to them. But I'd be like, I don't want to like shoot people. Oh, it's like Westworld's a weird thing. It's like oh, a computer simulation of the old West. It's like okay. I mean, I guess that'd be cool for. I remember like back in the day when we had that old town in New Jersey, where they would do the old West town. I can't remember the name of it. Just smelled like fucking cat piss because like cats are like, oh shit, there's a whole town that is a litter box. Like hell yeah. and the cats are just shitting and pissing everywhere. And it's just like, oh, is this what the old West was like? Which it probably was. It was like everyone would just piss and shit wherever they wanted. No one took showers. We had no like anything. Everyone just smelled awful. Like you would meet a girl and she'd be like, "Oh yeah, like how did like how did women and dudes like how did dudes eat pussy back in the old days, like the old West? It's like you go down there, it's like oh gross. There's nothing grosser than someone doesn't have an unwashed pussy. If it's unwashed, oh, you're like, oh. And then putting a unclean dick in your mouth is also fucking disgusting. And they probably weren't cutting, I mean, circumcising back then, so it was just like dick cheese everywhere. And these women were like, oh yeah, well. And there was prostitutes too. Prostitutes are just unclean pussies. And like I guess they would have to like wash their pussies out because I feel like there was no condoms, so these dudes are just like fucking blowing loads in chicks. Ugh, just don't get all of it out. It's just like crust. I'm about to throw up again. Man, fucking, you know what? Fuck that. Fuck going back in time. I think we live in a great fucking society. Well, I mean, there's a lot of issues, but like back then, everyone was a racist. We owned black people. Asian people were building our railroads. It was like the height of being white, but it's like, ugh, like we're not good people back then. But I mean, right now, I mean, shit, bad shit happens every day. But bad shit's always happened every day. We just have news media now that their only job is to report on shittiness. Like they make more money if shitty things happen. It's just facts. It's just facts. It's really sad that that's the case, but am I even recording this? This is gonna suck if I didn't record any of this. Okay, cool. We're recording. Whoo! Oh, I had a panic attack on that. I was like, "Oh, this is semi gold." But yeah, just I mean, bad shit's happened every day now. But back then, I mean, dude, like I could go right now and take a shower, change my clothes, wash my clothes. Back then, everyone just stank. It was just gross. And then like you had to hunt and kill your own food, and you know that food didn't taste fucking good. Like now we have got like we can go to McDonald's and get a cheeseburger. That shit tastes pretty good. Back then, you were like, oh, I gotta hunt down this caribou. I gotta skin it. Then I gotta like salt the meat, and then it's like it just tastes like fucking dog food. Like people back then ate like our dogs eat. Our dogs now probably eat better than let's say if you do time, probably like 25% of the world in most of the time. Maybe like since the I'd say probably like the 40s or 50s is when we really started to like cook shit and be delicious. But really, it's like the 80s and 90s is when we're like, oh, dude, like we should like straight up be better at cooking. But back then, like in the 30s and 20s, I mean, people were eating like meat out of a can and ugh, and just like stinking up the place. Everyone's just like pooping in every. I don't know. I don't get that either. Like back in the old days, it was just like pooping everywhere. I guess that's cool. I mean, it is cool when you're a dude and you can just whip your dick out and pee. It is pretty solid. I mean, if you're a woman, you don't understand that the luxury. We got a lot of good things out of being men. Our penises are pretty awesome. Um, I don't know about for your vaginas. You can't really store anything in there, so it's really not like what is it good for? Absolutely everything. This world really runs on pussy. To be honest with you, everyone's like, oh, men have always had power. Have they though? I know a lot of famous men in the world have been influenced by their women, and that's I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Probably a good thing. Women are way more what's the word I'm looking for? Intelligent than men. Um, honestly, it's true. Uh, not all men, not all women, but majority of them. I mean, I would say a man has way more on his mind than a woman, because all men think about is sex. So if you really look at all the most successful smart men, they weren't getting laid. They weren't getting laid at all. They were all like, Albert Einstein just like wore the same outfit every day. It's like, do you really think like women are gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna fuck that guy? Plus, he's not good looking. No, smart dudes only get laid after the fact that they become geniuses and billionaires. Like Bill Gates, like no one was trying to suck Bill Gates' dick. I mean, Bill Gates like cuts his own hair. If he wasn't a billionaire, is it crazy he became a billionaire? I mean, he's a smart dude though. Um, yeah, we just don't value intelligence. It's always about looks for most society. Like we really, honestly, we should probably just get everyone who like mate people, right? We should mate people, 100%. Super athletic people should have sex with super athletic people. Smart people should have sex with smart people. I really do think. I think we should do. I mean, I guess that's like what the Nazis were trying to do, which wasn't great. Um, because I'm not saying like don't have sex with inferior people, but because there's no one that's inferior than you to you, just all your mind. We all have different talents and stuff like that. Um, yeah, I don't know, but I feel like I want to have sex with like I want to mate with like a really athletic black woman and just have like 4 or 5 kids and like let's roll the dice. Let's see if we can get one of them in the NBA. Because I'm like for a fat guy, I'm kind of athletic and 6'8", 6'9" is kind of rare. And then I just have sex with like a basketball player or like an athlete of our own. I think we would have at least be one out of four would be in the NFL or the NBA, 100%. I think I got good genes. I got pretty good genes, except for the diabetes. That's not cool. But I'll watch his diet and make sure he's doing good. Just imagine having a kid in the NBA or the NFL. I mean, NFL is kind of rough. I mean, concussions and all that. You don't want that. You don't want your kid to be a vegetable by 30. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I talk about anymore. I hope you guys have a good day. Hope you're having a good time. This is really right here. I don't know if that's on my eye or yeah, because I really don't feel it, but I can see it on the screen. All right, this has been another bedtime sessions. Welcome to my bed, ladies. I'm looking like a little young Kenny Rogers. Hell yeah. All right, that's it. I think I've run out of being stupid for the day. Love you all. Let's have a drink to cowboys. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Never at home, always alone. Yada yada yada. Fuck Cowboys. Fuck the Cowboys. What am I doing? Don't drink to Cowboys. Fuck Dallas. Let's drink to the great state of Arkansas. Hell yeah. Let's drink to Arkansas. Arkansas people, you're killing it. You're doing a great job. Alright, buddy. Alright, everybody. Love you. Bye. Fuck Hitler.